What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. Today in this video, I'm going to go over the worst design on Ford's new F-150s. So behind me, I've got my friend's Ford F-150, and I'm installing a K&N cold air intake and a set of Morimoto XB fog lights. They're LEDs. So this is the OEM one, and this is the aftermarket LED one. So I'm installing these on the car, and while I was working on it, I noticed something that I couldn't really get my head around. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Ford advertised their pickup truck, the F-150, to be all aluminum. It's an all aluminum truck, and they've saved, I think it was like 600 pounds by switching from steel to aluminum. So if you guys know anything about aluminum, aluminum shouldn't rust as steel does, right? Aluminum shouldn't do that, hence why, that's just one of the characteristics of it. Now, while I was working on this thing, I noticed something on the front end. Looking at the front of the vehicle, we've got our new Morimoto XB LED fog lights installed. So that's the new one, this is the old one, okay? Nothing crazy, that's standard. Now, while I was working here at the front end, there was something that I noticed that I could not get my head around. So let me first show you one little thing right here. See that little rock chip? I don't know how well you guys can see that, but if you can tell, that's rusting, okay? So it got me to think, okay, this bumper is not aluminum. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a closer look. So that little part is rusting. What else might be rusting? See those two little pieces of rubber, one there and one there, underneath the headlight? Okay, well, because this little piece of rubber is touching and making contact with the bumper, every time that this moves in and out, you can see that the paint is getting chipped up, and because it's steel, it's rusting. This car is a year old. And look at that. You got rust over there, and this was even worse. Ready? Check this out. Look at that. On a basically brand new truck, you've already got the front end rusting out on you. So they went ahead and put the entire body of the car out of aluminum, but they, didn't really go ahead and make these out of aluminum either. Now, I don't know if it's just me that's mad because of this, but it's not even my car. But I mean, imagine having the fact that, say this is made out of steel, and that's not exactly advertised as the entire vehicle was said to be all aluminum. All aircraft aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they said in the advertisements. And then after that, they have the poor design that this little rubber piece right there is chipping off the paint in this section, and it's all gonna rust out. Look at that. That is ridiculous. Ford. But whatever. What I'm doing right now is I'm popping out these fog lights to replace them with the LED ones. Now, a lot of tutorials that I saw online figuring out how to take this out. Everyone, what they do is they go from the inside part of the wheel well to take everything out from back in there, pull the entire fog light assembly out, and then swap it with the new one. Now, there's guaranteed a couple people that have done this. But I don't know if it's publicly seen on YouTube. This fog light is a lot easier if you pull it out coming this way. So Ford says to pull it through the bumper. I'm pulling it out from the bumper this way. So what I did first is I turned the steering wheel over to one direction so that I have kind of access to the wheel well. Now, the only reason why I'm pulling out these three 8mm bolts, one here, and another one up in here. The only reason why I'm taking those out is so that you guys can see what is going on. Otherwise, you guys can fully do everything from the inside part of the wheel well where you can see and inspect what you're doing, but everything is really happening on this side of the car. So from the wheel well, what I'm gonna first do is zoom in, and I'm gonna pull back this little piece of the fender liner so I can show you what we're gonna be taking out. So if we come down in there, you can see that we've got an electrical connector in the center of the picture that's blue, and it's connected to our regular halogen bulb found on the bumper. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that first, and then if you can take a look on the left, see that that little spring with that faded white part on the top? Well, at the bottom of it, there's a screw that we need to remove so that we can pull the entire fog light assembly out from the bumper. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to go from underneath in this little section down there, get access to the wiring, and unclip that little connector. So with the connector disconnected and the screw slightly removed, I'm going to continue to pull out the screw found on the left along with the spring. After that, we're going to move to the front of the car at the bumper, and we're going to pull out the fog light. From the front of the vehicle now, what we have to do is we have to insert one flathead screwdriver on one side and push the plastic tab that's pushing and holding the fog light in here. So the fog light is essentially pushed in to a plastic piece. And when we push out the plastic piece on the side, we should be able to pull this forward. So there's a plastic piece on this side and another one on this side that we need to take out. Now it's a little tricky. If you just jimmy it back and forth, you'll be able to get it. So with both out, we should be able to pull forward. If we can grip on this, and take the entire fog light out of the car. Just like that. So here is the entire fog light assembly that we removed. So we're gonna need this little rubber cap and that little piece in there, which is gonna be our height adjuster, so that when we install our new fog light, our LED one inside here, we can install the screw in the back and angle it down or up so that the fog light is properly aimed onto the road. So this is our regular halogen reflector fog light, and this is our LED Morimoto fog light. So if you take note in the back, we're just gonna have to transfer over the stuff from here onto this one so we can get it to work. So we'll grab our Morimoto right here, install that little piece, a little plastic piece over here, and we're just gonna put that little white rubber cap back over top of it once it's fully pushed up and inserted. So there we go, it's in, and put a little cap back over top. Then we can go ahead and reinstall this back onto the car. So super easy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stick our wire in through the back part of the fog. Grab our fog and just push it into place. So you have to make sure that both the left and the right side, those little prongs that are sticking out, are inserted into the sides of the fog light housing. So at this point, to complete the installation, all we need to do is hook up the wiring connector on the back, put that little screw back in there, and then reinstall our wheel well, the fender liner on the inside of there, and then we're done. We're gonna go ahead after that, turn the car on, and test out our fog lights to make sure everything works properly. I still can't get over the fact that Ford has gotten away with this and no one's really mentioned anything, or at least from what I know. So I got curious. I have a little magnet in my hand, and the all aluminum Ford F-150, let's see how much of it is all aluminum. So, that from the looks of it, because it's not sticking, is either plastic or aluminum. This, on the other hand, is definitely not. So that will rust out on you. Fenders. Nope. Door. No, that's aluminum. Same with that. The roof. Nope. Door handles. Okay, so a lot of it is aluminum, but not all of it. If we take a look, you guys think the rear bumper is going to be aluminum, or you think it's going to be steel? I think it's going to be steel. Okay, ready? There's the tailgate. Here's the bumper. Haha, called it. Yeah, so from the looks of it, it's not an all aluminum Ford F-150. It should be called the mostly aluminum Ford F-150. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's just me that's making a big deal out of nothing. Let me know what you guys think in the description box down below. Now, as for the intake and the fog lights, they're both in. So we've got the LEDs down there. They're fully LED fog lights. They're not just a regular LED bulb that's installed in a regular halogen housing. So the projectors that are found inside of here disperse the light very nicely from the LEDs. So we have a set of halogen headlights right here that should, be replaced, whatever, to make them look so that this is the exact same color as these. Now I'm going to take the truck outside and show you guys what the light output is. So here we have the truck. If you take a look at our halogens, it's got a very nice light output, and as soon as you go underneath the low beam, once you go over right there, you can see that it's got a nice cutoff. So the fog light should do the exact same thing. So once we get to the certain point, see how they just both got very bright? Wow, I'm actually really impressed with these. So we've got both of the LED fogs installed. Now I might have to adjust them. I'll just play around with it a little bit right now. But if you do have to adjust it, the way that you do it is that little star screw that was found on the bottom part of each one of the fogs, the one that we took out, it's either going to pull up the beam or pull it down, depending on what happens when you turn. So if you screw it in, what's going to happen, it's going to tilt the light down, and it's going to bring our light output lower. Now my next question is, as for the cold air intake, how does it sound? We've got a 5-liter V8 F-150, and I want to see how wicked this thing sounds when you floor it and mash the pedal. Now, I'd love to hear your guys' input on this vehicle. Let me know what you think about the fog lights, the cold air intake, but more importantly, the rust. The steel that's on an all-aluminum F-150. If you guys want to pick up anything that I used today, from the intake to whatever, check the description box. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.